So I'm going to cut through my armhole, and I'm also going to cut on the seam line. Okay, so I'll be cutting my darts because I want to close up my bust darts. Okay, so I'll close my bust darts. So this is the bustier that is going to carry this draped yoke. So this is it, and I will now come over to the neckline. Okay, so this is the shape of the neckline we have. I'm going to cut and separate it. All right, so that is what we have. So I want to always match up to be sure I don't have any shortage. So here you can see I have slight shortage, so I'm going to fill it in right now. So I'm going to apply my adhesive to fill in the shortage before we continue. Okay, so I bring them together and match them up, bust line to bust line, as you can see. So I'll just come in with my pattern ruler the way we made the yoke. So I'll just fill in the line into the yoke, or if you cannot get that accurately, simply do this. Okay, this is coming in to simply do this. Okay, you can freehand and get what you want. So that is what we are going to use to cut. All right, so I'll set this aside, and here I'm going to, if I have to slash and spread, it might take much time, so I just felt like using an easiest method that will also give us the same result instead of slashing and spreading. So I'm going to measure from the tip of this, as you can see, and here I have 10 inches, so I'll be writing 10 inches for the front, and on the what I have on the width is 8 inches, then 8 inches. So we'll be using this to cut our draped yoke. So I'll come back to the back. So for the back, I'm going to determine the neckline first. The back is dartless. We are not making any dart for the back, so I will just contour my back line by 0.75. So once I've contoured, I'm going to connect right away from this point to this point. I will connect, and I will remeasure my bust circumference. So my bust circumference is just at this point, and I will measure my waist circumference divided by 4, and I'll connect back. So what I did is replacing my dart. So for the neckline, you choose which neckline works best for you. So here I'll be using 7 inches, and the 7 inches I'm going to connect it this way at the back. Okay, so I choose to connect like this. So remember, we came in by 1.25 for the front yoke, so you also do the same, and you also connect back to the point you have your neckline. So this is my yoke right here, and I'm going to measure what we have from here to here. I have 7.25, and from here to here I have 9 inches. Okay, so that is what we are going to use, the measurements we are going to use for the cutting of our draped yoke. So I'll just cut through right and go through my neckline. I'll go through the shoulder. I'll cut through the armhole for the yoke. Okay, so I'll just simply separate the yoke from the back body. So whichever neckline you want to work with, you can go ahead and work with. So here I have my two yoke. This is back and this is front. So the two yoke, as you see them together, is going to form that sleeve for us. So at this point, I have calculated 10 inches and here I calculated 7.25. So I'm going to pick which one is higher. So the front definitely is going to be higher because we are going to cut a square fabric and gather back to have this exact result you are seeing on the thumbnail. So the essence of this yoke is to determine the length of the yoke. So coming over to the length of the yoke, I have 8 and 9. I'll put them together. 8 plus 9 inches will give me 17. So the width I'm going to work with on my yoke will be 17 inches, and the length will be 17 inches, and the width will be 10 inches times 2.5. So I'll set the yoke aside till we get to the cutting. So I'm going to cut now. I'm cutting my front and add my seam allowance and my back and add my seam allowance. Then I'll come to the yoke and explain to you how to achieve that perfect result. So I've already cut my yoke. I've already cut my patterns and I've added my necessary seam allowance. Okay, my bust points, the center front I cut on fold, so I just make a notch to it, and this I cut 2 times. This is my bust point. I make a notch because I'm going to put them together right now. My under bust, I'll just place a notch, and my under bust I place a notch. Okay, so I'll go to my machine now to sew this together. So I'm going to sew I'll open up and sew. So I'm sewing the bustier together, and I'll match it up with what I have on the back. Okay, so I have my zipper allowance here, and I added my seam allowance on the armhole. So I'll quickly sew all of them together, then I'll come back for the draped yoke. Alright, so I've gone ahead to put everything together, my front bodies, my back bodies, patterns I just made now, my bustier to the back. I've put everything together. Okay, so by right, if you are making a single yoke, this is what we are going to do. We are going to just let it rest right here. So if you are making a single yoke, from the center line we'll be attaching this yoke right away at this point. But this time around is a different ball game. Okay, so that was why we took our measurement of 10 inches. Okay, 10 inches is from here to here, and I have my 7.525 inches, which is supposed to be the whole of the back. So we are going to put the length, that is 8 inches, because this yoke is going to run from front to back. So I'm putting them together. 8 plus 9, we have 17. Okay, so the width of the fabric I'm cutting is 17 plus 1 inch for seam allowance, that is 18, and we'll be using the highest part of this and multiply by 2.5. So 10 times 2.5 will give me 25. So I take off my patterns now and I come with my yoke. So this is the yoke I've cut already. It's just a squared fabric, so you can see it is just squared. So what I was explaining to you is that what I have here is multiplied by 2.5. That is the 10 multiplied by 2.5, because we are going to gather here, we are also going to gather here, and we sew back, okay, to the neckline, representing the boat yoke. So the boat yoke will give us 8 plus 9, which is 18, plus 1 inch to sew, which is 17, plus 1 inch to sew, which is 18. So here I've already stitched close because I want to make this both lining and fabric. So I'm going to turn around right now. So I'm turning around what I have right here. Okay, so this is the part that will be gathered. So if you are turning this part, I will advise you to give it a good press and centralize it. You keep it at the center, it will serve as the back. Okay, I believe you understand what I'm saying. So I'm going to my machine now, and I'm going to run my gather stitches here. I'm going to run my gather stitches here. So this part that I just stitched will be on the inside, okay, just like your lining, and the front will be like this, and you have clean edges here and clean edges here. So let me quickly do that. I will be back to sew it back to the yoke. All right, so I've gone ahead to gather everything, as you can see, up and down for both sides. So it's time for us to start sewing it into the bodies now. So I'll have to match my darts together to get the midpoint, okay? So that is where I want to gather it. So you can also, if you don't want to do it at the midpoint, you can also give a gap of 1 inch from the center front. But for this tutorial, we are following exactly what we have on the thumbnail. So I'm going to place my notch. I'm going to place my yoke, my draped yoke. I'm placing it at the center, and I'll secure with my pin. So I'll just gather and distribute the gathers till I get to the end of the armhole. So it has to get to the end of the armhole, because this is going to serve both as sleeve. It's serving as a sleeve, and it's serving as the shoulder seam. So once I'm done with this, I'll gather this on this, okay? So I'm going to sew from here to the end and leave 1 inch for my zipper allowance. So I'm going to do that for both of them now, and I'll be back to show you how it looks like. All right, people, so right now you can see what I have right here. So I've gathered everything. So make sure the measurement you have for your yoke, because that is what we used for the gathering, make sure it's the same, okay? So from the center front, this is the center front, your gathers has to match up. It has to match up to the end. You can see it match up, and we still have a little on the armhole. So if you are making use of a lining, that will be easy. All you need to do is to, after gathering this, you turn this way, place your lining, and sew and top stitch, okay? So everything and top stitch, including the armhole, and you have a perfect fit right there. So this is it. So if you need more drape, you can just go ahead and add times by 3, that is, make more drape for yourself. With times by 2.5, and we're able to have this. This is the bustier point. So by the time you pad your bustier and add this, you have a perfect fit. So I'm going to place this on the dress one right now for you to see. This exact draped yoke, as you can see right here. So this is a draped yoke, as you can see. So the yoke can be pleated, the yoke can also be gathered. So in this tutorial, you'll be learning the tips and tricks to sewing your draped yoke